Hello all, welcome to Sreedhar'S CCE. In this video, we are going to discuss Indian river system. The topic is very important for SSC, RRB and other competitive examinations. This is a full-length video on Indian river system. This video is making into 2 to 3 parts. So this is the first part of the video. Now, first, let's understand what is the meaning of river and then what are the questions we can expect from this topic. So this topic, Indian river system, being very important for all competitive examinations, we are going to make this video completely without any errors, and in this video initially I'm going to provide you what are the questions we can expect from Indian river system. Now Indian river system is very important for all exams. From this chapter, the questions we can expect are first, drainage patterns. Now, the most important question from this chapter is drainage patterns. That means what are the drainage patterns that exist in the world and what are the patterns, what are the examples. In the overall, we have some 12 patterns of rivers or 12 drainage patterns. But here in India, we are for 3 or 4 patterns are very important for us. So now we are going to discuss those 3 or 4 patterns. Generally, students are in the assumptions or presumption that from river system, we can expect questions only based on tributaries. Not only students, even some other people also, they are in the assumption that, okay, only from river or their tributaries we can expect the questions. However, the present scenario has been changed. Not only from rivers and their tributaries, we are expecting questions from other areas too. Apart from drainage patterns, we have 2 types of river systems, that is Himalayan river system and peninsular river system. Now we are going to understand Himalayan river system, features, characteristics and even examples. Similarly, for peninsular river system also, we are going to discuss about peninsular rivers, characteristics, features and the examples. So these 2 areas are very important for us. Apart from these 2, origin point of a river. Whenever if you solve SSC or RRB past questions, you can expect questions based on the origin point of a river. For example, so and so river originates from which of the following place? This type of question is frequently observed in the question papers. So origin point of a river. So here origin point of a river means we need not to mug up all the local rivers. The rivers which has national importance or for Indian geography, those rivers only we have to mug up. Apart from this origin point, the next area we can expect for examinations is length of a river. In very rare cases, we can expect the length of a river. Length of a river does not mean they may ask us to measure the river and depth. We can expect the questions which of the following rivers are the longest river or arrange the rivers in the chronological order. That's it. We need not to mug up the numbers. In very rare cases, rarest of the rare case, they may ask us the length. However, the present scenario has been changed. They are not focusing on the length, breadth and depth of a river. They are asking more, which of the following is the longest in the peninsular India? Which of the following is the largest in the western flowing rivers or eastern flowing rivers? Apart from length, course. Course means, for example, any river from its origin point to before meeting the sea, this particular river may touch different states. So we can expect the question like Ganga river flows in how many states, or in which of the following state Ganga river does not flow. So course is very important. The origin point till its meeting point in the sea, the states which the particular river crosses. So that particular point is called course of a river. Different names. In India, we have some rivers like Ganga, Brahmaputra and Indus. However, these rivers also flows through other states also. In other states, I mean to say in other countries, these rivers are derived from different names, or in that particular region, that river has a different name. For example, Ganga, Brahmaputra. Indus. These rivers have different names in different countries. We have to focus on that also, because from that particular point we can expect questions from different names of a river. Tributaries and their origin point. Of course, not only rivers but also their tributaries. What is the origin point of a tributary? For example, Indus we have Jhelum, Bias, Ravi, Satluj, etc. All these are the tributaries of Indus. If you see the past papers of RRB and even SSC, there we can expect the origin point of a tributary. What was the origin point of so and so river? So apart from length or the origin point of a main river, we have to focus more on tributaries, their origin point. Cities and banks of a river. This is most underestimated area in the competitive examinations, because when we are reading river system or river topic, our focus should be more on rivers and their tributaries. Not only the rivers and tributaries, it should be more even on cities and banks of a river. That means, say for example, Lucknow is on the bank of which river? Hyderabad is on the bank of which river? Delhi is on the bank of which river? In that way, cities and banks, cities and bank. So and so city on which bank? That is also very important for us. So most underestimated area in the river system, we have to be very thorough. And when we are reading these tributaries, we even we have to remember right bank and even left bank river. So right bank tributaries we have, left bank tributaries also we have. So we have to read in that perspective, so we can have a better understanding over a river and even a tributary. Rivers and waterfalls, even this is also very important. Shravasti waterfalls or Shravasti river, Jog waterfalls, waterfalls. So waterfall is a part of geomorphology. So a waterfall is formed because of a river. So and so waterfall is on which river? And rivers and dams. Dam, if we see, we have many dams in India. The main objective or purpose of the dam is to control the water, I mean to say river, or to prevent floods, to generate electricity, to provide drinking and irrigation water. So in India, we have our major dams. We have to focus on which dam is on which river. And our focus should be more on the dams which are in news. Wetlands and Ramsar Convention. In Iran, there was a city called Ramsar. There, the global leaders decided to protect the wetlands. So, wetlands and Ramsar Convention. Ramsar Convention is related to the wetlands. Now you may wonder why we are dealing wetlands in the river system. It is a part of lake, and anyways we are dealing here also. As I told you earlier, geography and environment should go hand in hand. We should not ignore environment. So in river systems, lakes are also part of it. And when we are dealing with lakes, it is our responsibility, or we can say it is very important for us to deal even with wetlands. So as of now, in India, we have 75 wetlands. As a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, we have 75 wetlands in the country. So here, I don't want to dictate those wetlands. Instead of that, I can provide you a map which each and every state, the wetlands which are present in that particular state. So we can expect questions based on wetlands too. So this is the area, or these are the areas where we can expect questions from river system. So this is very, very important. So please remove any hallucination or any wrong assumption. From river system only we will get questions from rivers or tributaries. If we see the past 20 years papers of SSC and other competitive examinations from this particular topic, from these areas, we can expect the questions. So when we are reading Indian river system, we have to keep these things in our mind. And this is the full-length video on Indian river system. So in this video, I'm going to explain each and every concept clearly and precisely, and this video will be helpful for the students who are giving competitive examinations, not only SSC and RRB, but also any other exam which has geography as the syllabus. So let's understand. So first, let's begin the topic with drainage patterns. Before beginning the topic, we should understand what is the difference between a river and even a tributary. Let's understand the basics first. So, river and tributaries, these are the words we are using commonly in the geography. However, the difference between river and tributary is not same. Let's understand it. For example, this is a Ganga river. This is a Ganga river. Now, when Yamuna river is there, like this, or we can say this side, right? So, Yamuna river is merging with the Ganga river. Ganga is directly merging with the sea. So, the difference is river directly merges with the sea. River directly merges with the sea, whereas tributaries merges with another river. So that means we can conclude that a tributary never ever joins any sea. Tributary means it is or it joins with another river. So river directly meets the sea. So this is the basic difference between river and tributary. A river directly merges with the sea. A tributary joins with another river. A tributary never ever meets sea directly. It meets another river. So this is a basic difference. And don't conclude based on length, based on weight, we can say we can differentiate tributary and river. That is totally a wrong perspective. So this is the very minor thing we have to know. River and tributary. So now hope I am clear with the meaning river and tributary. Now let's understand drainage pattern. First, what is the meaning of drainage pattern? What is the meaning of drainage pattern? Here, a river is flowing like this and tributaries are joining from these particular places. So, when tributaries are joining this particular river basin attained a new geomorphological feature. That feature is called a river pattern. River pattern means a drainage pattern. So when rivers or when tributaries are meeting the river assumes a new shape or pattern that is called drainage pattern. In overall, we have 12 river patterns, drainage patterns. However, for the Indian scenario, we should know only 4 patterns. Let's see what are those patterns. First one, dendritic pattern. So dendritic pattern is a first type of pattern. So the meaning of dendritic, it is a tree. So when main river and the tributaries are joining the main river, this scene will appear like a tree branches. See, it assumes like it appears to be a tree. So tributaries are joining the main river. In overall, the face or the image of the river basin appears to be tree. So dendritic pattern means the pattern resembles the branches of a tree. When the river basin resembles the branches of a tree, such pattern is called dendritic pattern. Here also you can observe like this. Next, radial pattern. Here the meaning of radial is, as we know, we have a two-wheelers. The tires of the two-wheeler is called radial tires. In between the tire, you have a line for grip, and here also we have some kind of squares and all for road grip. So when the river originates from a hill and flow in all directions, that means this is a hill and the river is flowing in all directions. So when the river is flowing in all directions, that pattern is called radial pattern. Second type of pattern is radial pattern. Trellis pattern. So trellis pattern means, suppose a river is flowing like this and tributaries are joining at this line. So when it joins at the 90 degrees, That is called a trellis pattern. Tributaries join rivers at right angles in this way. This is a river and these are the tributaries. So here you can notice this kind of thing. I'll use red marker so it must be very clear for us. This part, sorry. Like this. See here we have like this. So this is called trellis pattern. Centripetal pattern. Fourth type of pattern is centripetal pattern. When the rivers discharge their waters from all directions in a lake or a depression, this pattern is called centripetal. For example, you can observe the image. So imagine this is a lake or depression. When rivers meeting this lake or depression and flow of water is like this, so we can say this particular path is a centripetal pattern. So when the rivers discharge their waters, imagine these are the rivers. When these rivers discharge their waters from all directions in a lake, imagine this is a lake. So when these rivers are discharging water in a lake, this pattern is called centripetal pattern. So these are the four types of patterns, especially in Indian geography, we must know. So river patterns. So far we are completed with river patterns. Dendritic pattern, trellis pattern, radial pattern and centripetal pattern. Next we will move to comparison between Himalayan rivers and peninsular rivers. So this is very important comparison for us. In India, the river system has been classified into two categories. These are Himalayas. These are Himalayas. So the rivers which originate from the Himalayan region are called Himalayan rivers. The rivers which originate in the peninsular region is called peninsular rivers. So Himalayan rivers means here we have Indus, here we have Ganga, here we have Brahmaputra. So as we know already, Vindhya mountains, above Narmada, Vindhya mountains act as a natural barrier between North India and South India. The area above Vindhya mountains we can categorize as northern part of the country and below it is categorized as southern part of the country. So the northern part of the country classified as Himalayan rivers. The southern part of the country peninsular rivers. So here in North India we have only three Himalayan rivers, that is Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. Apart from these three, take any river that must be the tributary of any of these or any of this one river. So already we are aware the difference between tributary and the river. So Himalayan river system. And we have to remember one point. Himalayan and peninsular rivers, these two are very different. Now let us compare the difference between Himalayan and peninsular rivers. So first let's draw the map of Himalayas here. So Himalayan rivers, place of origin exactly Himalayan mountains. So Himalayan mountains is the place of origin of Himalayan rivers. Himalayas are made up of granite stone and they are bounded with snow. That means internally Himalayas were made up of granite and on the top externally that granite rock system covered with the snow. So Himalayan rivers originate from Himalayan mountains. These rivers are perennial. Himalayan mountains are glaciers. When these glaciers melt, it will turn into water and these mountains or these glaciers or this water merges with the river. So these rivers are perennial. Perennial means never dries up. Himalayan rivers never dries up. Himalayan rivers never dries up because It has two sources. One is glaciers, the other one is rainfall. So Himalayan river system is formed after the melting of glaciers. Because of that reason, Himalayan rivers will get water continuously. Apart from that, rainwater is also added. So because of these two reasons, Himalayan rivers never dries up. 365 days we can observe water. They form dendritic pattern in plains. As we know the meaning of dendritic, which resembles the pattern of a tree. So these Himalayan rivers form dendritic pattern in plains. These rivers are very long course. Himalayan rivers flows at long distance. If we see Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra, these three are the longest rivers. So these rivers have very long course. They form very large basins. These rivers form very large basins. Basins means the catchment area of a river. So the tributaries and the main river, the flows and the catchment area of a particular river is called as basin, drainage basin. Himalayan rivers are young and youthful. So Himalayan rivers are very young because they'll start after the melting of ice or glacier and they are in the youthful stage. Youthful stage means as these rivers are in the starting stage, these rivers flows with great speed. So because of that reason, Himalayan rivers are young and youthful. Second category we have peninsular rivers. So this part is called peninsular part. This one is peninsular part. So the origin of peninsular river is peninsular plateau. What is the meaning of peninsula? Land is surrounded by one side. Sorry, water is surrounded by three sides and land is on one side. So peninsular plateau. World's largest peninsula is Saudi Arabia and second largest peninsula is India. So the rivers which originate in the southern part of the country are known as peninsular rivers. So in peninsular system, if we compare the peninsular rivers with Himalayan rivers are perennial. That means these rivers have two sources. One is rainfall, the other one is glacier melt. However, in case of peninsular rivers are not perennial. That means during summers, we can see the less water in these rivers. So, peninsular rivers has only one source, that is rainwater. So, as these rivers are totally dependent on monsoons, in the absence of monsoons, we can expect the low water levels or even drying up of rivers in some areas. So, peninsular rivers are seasonal. That means during rainy season, these rivers can flourish. In the absence of rains, these rivers may dry or low water levels we can experience. These rivers are completely dependent on the monsoon rainfall. These rivers resulting in the trellis, radial and rectangular patterns. As you know, these patterns were already discussed. These rivers are smaller course. Of course, when you compare the Himalayan rivers with the peninsular rivers have very small course. They form relatively smaller basins. Compared to the Himalayan river system, the peninsular rivers form a small basin. So what is the meaning of basin? Catchment area of a river. Now, comparison between east and west flowing rivers. Let's understand these. This is the peninsular part we have. These are Himalayas. So this is western part, this is eastern part. The rivers which merges in the Bay of Bengal are known as east flowing rivers. The rivers which merge in the Arabian Sea are known as west flowing rivers. So if we observe in India, majority of the rivers are east flowing rivers. That is because the peninsular part, what we are observing here, the peninsular part, this part is tilted towards Bay of Bengal. That means geologically the peninsular part is tilted towards Bay of Bengal. This is not man-made. It happened naturally. So this tectonic activity, as it is tilted towards Bay of Bengal, in India, majority of the rivers are east flowing rivers. So these are the east flowing rivers. For example, as we know, Godavari originates somewhere in the Western Ghats, Nasik, Triambakeshwar. Instead of going like this river enter into Telangana, then Andhra, and then Bay of Bengal. So in this way, this is the right evidence that this southern part or peninsular part is slightly tilted towards the Bay of Bengal. So in India, majority of the rivers are east flowing rivers. East flowing rivers means the rivers which joins a Bay of Bengal. Now what are the west flowing rivers? So west flowing rivers are the rivers like Narmada, Tapati, Mandavi, Jauri, Periyar, Pamba, all these comes under, all these are the best examples for west flowing peninsular rivers. Apart from peninsular region, Indus is also a west flowing river, as Indus and its tributaries directly merges with the Arabian Sea. So the rivers which merge the Bay of Bengal is known as east flowing rivers. The rivers which merge Arabian Sea are known as west flowing rivers. And here we should know one more difference. That is, west flowing rivers, they do not form deltas. West flowing rivers do not form deltas. Whereas east flowing river, they do form deltas. East flowing rivers, they form deltas. Now let's understand the meaning of delta. Delta means where river meets the sea, that place is called delta. So delta regions are made up of alluvial soils. Delta regions are made up of alluvial soils. So as these soils are very fertile, these soils support agriculture. So west flowing rivers do not form deltas, east flowing rivers form deltas. What is the reason? Now, if we understand the concept, west flowing rivers are very short course rivers, short in course. That means the short length. The length of the west flowing rivers is short. East flowing rivers have long course. East flowing rivers have long course. Because of this long course, east flowing rivers forms deltas, west flowing rivers do not form deltas, the course. So this is the main reason. Because in what way length influences the delta? Because when the river is so lengthy, the river on its way collect all the sediments from the rocks, mountains and deposit on the coastal areas. If we see Andhra Pradesh, we have a Krishna Godavari delta regions. These delta regions are very fertile because of the presence of alluvial soils. These regions we can experience 3 crops per annum. So 3 crops per annum makes this region agriculturally prosperous. So alluvial soils plays an important role in the agriculture, and the formation of alluvial soils is directly responsible for the formation of deltas. What is the meaning of delta? Where river meets the sea. Next one. So far we discussed the differences between Himalayan river system and peninsular river system. Now we are going to discuss the important rivers in the Himalayan river system. As we discussed earlier, Himalayan river system consists of 3 important rivers: Indus, Ganga and even Brahmaputra. The westernmost river is called Indus. The westernmost river is called Indus and the easternmost river is called Brahmaputra. So these 3 rivers are the best examples for Himalayan river system, and the tributaries of these 3 rivers are also part of Himalayan river system. Now let's understand. Let's start this river system topic with Indus River. The Himalayan drainage system. The system consists of Ganga, Indus and Brahmaputra rivers. Rivers also form V-shaped valleys, rapids and waterfalls in their course. That means the rivers Ganga, Indus and Brahmaputra In its course or in their course, these rivers can form meanders. These rivers can form V-shaped valleys like gorges or even waterfalls. So all these are the geomorphological feature of a river. Now first let's deal with the Indus river system. The river Indus is also known as Sindhu. Sindhu. So the name India derived from this river. The name India, not only the name India, but also the religion Hindu. In Persians, the Persians were the first one to arrive in India. In Persian literature, they don't have the vocabulary or terminology called sa. Instead of sa, they use the word ha. As the Bengalis, they say Chakravarti as Chakraborti. Instead of va, they pronounce as ba. Similarly, the river Sindhu, Persians who came to India, Persians who came to India, instead of pronouncing sa, they pronounced as ha. So Sindhu becomes Hindu. The place is known as Hindustan. The people next to Sindhu river is called Sindhus and they are Hindus. So the word sa has been pronounced as ha. This difference created as a new religion or Hinduism. So the word Hindu or the term Hindustan derived its roots from the word Sindhu. So we are dealing with the most important river of the country, Indus River system. The length of the river is 2880 kilometers and in India its length is 1114 kilometers. It is also known as Sindhu and it is the westernmost river of the Himalayan region. Westernmost region of the Himalayan region. So this part. Easternmost is Brahmaputra. Center one is Ganga. Now, as we discussed earlier, the origin point of a river is very important for us. Now, origin point. Glacier. What is the origin point? Bokarchu. Bokarchu in the Tibet region. This is the origin point of a Indus river. It starts in the Tibet region, the place called Bokarchu in the Kailash mountain range. These two are very, very important. So which of the following river originates in the Kailash mountain range? So the answer is Sindhu or Indus. In Tibet, Indus river is known as Singai Kambham. In Tibet, Sindhu river is known as Singai Kambham or lion's mouth. So actually Singham Kambham. This is the meaning. Finally, Indus river discharges into Arabian Sea. As we discussed earlier, Indus river is the west flowing river because Indus and its tributaries joins with the Arabian Sea. The Indus flows in India only in Jammu and Kashmir and remaining rivers are its tributaries. So what are the tributaries of Indus? Saskar, Suru, Dras, Krishnaganga, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Bias, Satluj. All these are the left bank tributaries. Shyok, Nubra, Gilgit. All these are the right bank tributaries. Hope you understand why I have classified this, because nowadays instead of asking tributaries directly, the commission is asking the left and right bank tributaries. For that reason, this classification is very important for us. So the upper part is called left bank tributaries, the lower part is called right bank tributaries. Now let's understand the origin point of Indus river. See, this is Indus. So this is the origin point of a river Indus. This part, Kailash range. So from Indus river starts like this, and through Jammu and Kashmir. Again it entered into Pakistan and near Karachi, this river joins in the Arabian Sea. So here Jhelum is the tributary, Chenab, this is Ravi, this is Satluj. The rivers what we are going to discuss now. So these are the rivers, right? So Rakaslik, this is the origin. Next, tributaries of Indus. So even though we have many tributaries, we are discussing only the important tributaries. The first one is Jhelum River. So what is the source of Jhelum? A spring at Verinag. It flows through Vular Lake in Kashmir and it joins the Chenab. It joins the Chenab in Pakistan. So this is the origin point of the Jhelum. So just focus on origin point. So here this is Jhelum. This is Jhelum. So this is Verinag. So this red line indicates the Jhelum River. And here this Jhelum merges with the Chenab, again Chenab with the Indus. Next, Chenab River. Chenab is the largest tributary of Indus. Here we can expect the question. Which of the following is the largest tributary of Indus? That is Chenab. So the importance of Chenab is the river Chenab merges with the joining of two streams. Formed with the merging of two streams. That is Chandra and Bhaga. Because of that reason, this river is also known as Chandra Bhaga. The origin point, so the merging point, and the river originates from Bara Lacha Pass. So it is in the Himachal Pradesh region, Zaskar region. So Chenab, we have to remember 3 points. 1, it is the largest tributary of Indus. 2, it is a combination or it is formed after the merging of Chandra and Bhaga. Third one is where it originates. These 3 are very, very important. So let's have a look over Chenab. This is the Chenab. Okay, Chenab. Right? This one is Chenab. So here, when we zoom, remove this one. So we have to focus the rivers from east to west. Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Satluj. So in this way. So here we have Bias, then we have Satluj, then Ravi, then Chenab, then Jhelum. So we have to focus even these rivers. So west to east or north to south. Ravi. So origin point of Ravi river is Rohtang Pass. Rohtang Pass is the origin point. Kulu Hills, and it is in Himachal Pradesh. So length is 725 kilometers. Ravi river. If we see the Ravi river origin point, Ravi river. So this is Rohtang Pass. So from here Ravi river originates. So from Ravi, and it merges with the Chenab. Next, Bias river. Bias, same Rohtang Pass. The river flows through Kulu Valley. So just origin is important for us. Where this river starts, Rohtang Pass. Say for example, if we see the image, this is Rohtang Pass. Just let's compare. Imagine this is a map of India. So here we have Rohtang Pass. So here Rohtang Pass. So from here it flows like this. So Bias river, Rohtang Pass. And it is a small river which is only 460 kilometers long. It entirely lies in the Indian territory. You have seen this. Next, last one is Satluj river. Satluj river is length 1450 kilometers. Its origin is Rakas Tal. Rakas Tal near Manas Sarovar. So the river Satluj starts in the Tibet region of Manas Sarovar, and the place is called, the river is called, in Tibet region, the river Satluj is called Langchen Khambad. This we can expect the questions. In the beginning of video, I told you we can expect the questions from the different names of a river. So here in the Tibet region, Satluj river is called Langchen Khambab. It passes through the Shipki on the Himalayan ranges and enters the Punjab plains. So North India, this river drains in the Punjab region. Here, what is the meaning of La? La means gap between mountains. The gap between mountains is called La. and we can see this part, sorry, this part, okay, satellage. So this is the origin point. From here we can see the satellage like this, like this. Right? This is the origin point of a satellage, right? So we'll stop here. In the next video, we'll continue the session. So this is a full course on Indian river system. In the second part, we will continue with the Ganga river system. Thank you. Thanks for watching.